In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a quiz to quickly find out if your product idea, your business idea, your offer has a chance to make it. And for that, we are going to use a quiz. And not any quiz, a good quiz that asks the right questions in the right way. For that, I prepared this document that I'm going to walk you through right now, where first we are going to look at why we are using a quiz exactly and when do we need to use it in the process of going from ideation to launch. We have basically two ways to use it. One is quick and dirty, and the other one is the funnel that I'm teaching for validating a business idea. I have several videos on it, and then I will go deeper on that. And I think the most interesting piece here is to look at the different parts within a quiz. I have a few really interesting things to show you here, like the pain barometer that quickly gives you a hint on, is your product solving an actual problem, or a trick to generate interviews with customers, or different interesting parts that are included in a good quiz. Then I'm going to just quickly go through the different kind of questions to ask. And the thing that is quite important for me is how to write them, how to print the brand voice or the founder voice and make it engaging and nice to do, like a good experience for the user. Yeah, I hope that sounds interesting to you. So we are going to go right into it, and I try to make it short this time. First, let's start by why using a quiz. Okay, you are either already a business owner or you want to start a business. So you might have just a business idea and you want to know if there is any chance that it can make it, right? Or you have a product that you already know you are going to build it because you have made some market research, but then you need to know more about the customer. You need more validation. You need to learn more about what they need, what are their problems, and you want to use that to create and refine your product or your offer. Okay, when to use a quiz? If we take exactly what I said before, but we go a little bit further and look at exactly what are the different steps when you start looking for a business idea to the moment that you're launching it. At the beginning, you just look for one, right? It's ideation, you make market research, and then you find a market gap and you think that there is something to build here. At this point, it's just an idea and you want pre-validation. So there are several ways to pre-validate your business idea. One can go with simple market research and engaging with people and talking with people. And at some point, it's just your guts telling you, okay, I think there is something here. But you can also, at this point, use a quick and dirty quiz. It's not the official name, right? It's the only one I found to make you think about this way of doing this quiz. Simply, this is a quiz that will take the exact same components of the one I'm going to show you now. That is made to learn as much as possible, as well as potentially generate interviews and generate leads for your waiting list if the product or this idea moves further in the stages and you want to launch at some point. To do a quick and dirty quiz, you just need the quiz. You don't need a landing page. You don't need to present your product. The idea is, okay, I am a founder. I have this idea. I think there is a problem here. Then I build a quiz for a potential customer. Then I go into different places like Reddit, forums, Facebook group, or I directly reach out to people, whether it's on social media, whether it's on email. I go on Discord, wherever the potential audience is. You just go and present yourself as a founder. There is no brand here. It's like, it's not at this stage. It's like, hey, I just started being part of this community. I have this idea. I thought you guys are struggling with that. Would you mind giving me a few minutes to answer a few questions for it's more survey that I've created. It would help me a lot to potentially maybe create this product. Most of people, no, not most of people, but you will always find people that are okay to do that. It's a few minutes. They are doing something good, making some karma points. So you will always find people that are willing to do that. At the end of this quiz, it's not a real email opt-in because you are not asking them their email to finish the quiz. It's more, thank you so much. I'm going to launch soon. Would you be interested that I let you know if I do? And then people would say yes or not. Most of them would say no, they don't want to give their email address, but a lot of them would say yes. And then you start building your waiting list. Okay, maybe I've done it on the prevalidation stage. Maybe I've done the quiz, maybe not. Then you move to the validation. At this point, you know there is something here, but you want to create the product and to see if it could sell or interest people. At this point, the thing that works and the thing I'm explaining on this channel is the quiz discovery funnel, where basically you transform your business idea and all the learnings that you got into the previous steps, you transform that into a landing page and some ads if you can afford to spend budget on ads, but you can also create organic content, warm cold outreach, or you can make partnerships with, I don't know, influencer, people in your industry, whatever. You just put your business idea on the landing page and try to find the right people to send to the landing page. By the way, I have videos about that exactly. So this is for market research. This is the video that will teach you the whole process here. And this video is to create the landing page. This video is to create ads. And this video will be to do the product launch. It's a short one, but it works so far. Okay, so once you have that ready, then the idea is, and that's very important because people ask me, but how do I present my quiz? And the whole concept behind the discovery quiz funnel is that you present the idea without telling people it doesn't exist. It's not a bad trick. You just want to know if people would click on the button to understand, okay, now I get your idea, I have this problem, I understand your solution, so what's the next step? If they click, then at this point you have a pop-up, or it's another page, whatever, but it needs to be like a limit between the product on the landing page that is exactly like if it would be real, and if they click, the pop-up would say, thank you so much for being here. We are in the process of building this product. Would you mind answering a few questions to make sure we make it right? Something like that. I always like to go with the asking for a favor because I realize that a lot of people are okay with that. So it's fine to ask simply and not try to trick people. And then you have the quiz coming up here. Then you have a thank you page. You can use the thank you page to have a post-quiz action. For example, you can say, hey, thank you very much. You will receive an email soon. Meanwhile, you can check out our Instagram account, and some of the quiz subscriber will, quiz subscriber or whatever, will end up on your Instagram account as follower, for example. And then you can start sending email. And I'm not going to go too deep on that, but then you have your waiting list. You use the learning that you get into the quiz to improve your offer until the point that you are able to scale the ads or the content that you create here. Then you grow the waiting list, and finally you launch your product with an email sequence. And then at the end, you have a validated offer. Okay, that was enough for the discovery quiz funnel. Now you know where we can use the quiz that I'm going to show you, because there are plenty of different quizzes we can use. But the one I'm going to present you is the same for these two different parts, slightly different, but almost the same. Okay, let's go into the different pieces of a quiz. That is really interesting. What you see here, maybe you have seen it in my previous videos, it's basically this part here. You gotta have these ads that are here. Then you have the landing page here. Then you have the pop-up here. And you have the quiz that goes here. And finally, we have the thank you page that leads to Instagram or whatever. It could be YouTube. It's wherever you want. Now let's look at what are the different parts within a quiz. The first important, extremely important part is a welcome page that explains the next steps. In this case, the pop-up acts as a welcome page, so you can start the quiz directly. The most important here is always to let the person know what they are going to go through, what should they expect. If you let them start the quiz, then you always have to say, answer a few questions or 6 questions or 10 questions to help us. It takes 2 minutes, something like that. But the person should start the quiz with having in mind approximately how long it will take. It's a little bit different if we go to this kind of quiz, because then you don't have a pop-up, so you can use simply a welcome screen. By the way, I'm going to tell you in the end of this video what tools you can use to create those. Okay, when you start a quiz, always start with the extremely simple question. And this one is actually almost too complicated. Sorry, it's in German, but that's not important. Here, the important is the meaning behind each part. The first question should be simple, because we want people to start engaging with the quiz without having to think. So the first question should always be something that they don't have to think for answering. They read the question, they already know the answer. So that's how you make people start in the quiz. Then you have the pain barometer. It is on second right now on this example, but it doesn't have to be. It can be somewhere in the quiz. By the way, the whole thing, I always go for 5 to 8 questions maximum, and then asking for email. So it can go up to 10, but then in total, like from the first one to the moment, the thank you page, up to 10, but already it's quite a lot, 10. So the shorter you make it, the more chances people are going to go through the end. Just think about it. So you can have like the welcome page or the pop-up, very simple first question, and then you can have a multiple choice question that goes right after. It doesn't matter in which order. But then you have the pain barometer, and that is extremely interesting. Basically, you can use tools that let you create a kind of scale. I think it's a scale. I don't know how to say that in English. But people can rate from 1 to 10. And then you can make them rate their problem. How painful it is for you to try to do X. How happy do you feel in your current situation? Something like that. Something that is related directly to, can your product solve an extremely painful and urgent problem? In the end, when you start running the quiz, you will have answers coming up. And depending on how you build the question, here you can see in just a glimpse, you have the actual pain of the customer. You can see they're all saying like it's extremely painful. Then you found something really interesting. You can create a product that really solves the problem. If they're all saying like, no, that's okay, I can deal with that, then you know already that you don't want to bother creating a solution for a problem people are not ready to spend money for. So the pain barometer is basically this 1 to 10 or 1 to 10 stars, whatever kind of question that people can rate their pain related to the product that you are creating. Sorry. We have an open-ended question. Again, here, don't follow the order of this example. The most important is that you always start with a simple one, you make people engage, and then at some point you want to place the pain barometer and the open-ended question. You want one open-ended question because this is the one that requires the most attention and that require the person to think the most. So you only want one, and then you can change it. Once you have enough answers, then you can change it and get another one. This question, you should be really careful where you place it, because if it's after a certain question, maybe the answer here will be biased. This kind of question is like, what's your biggest challenge with blah, blah, blah. You want people to describe in their own words what they are struggling with, what they wish they had, or something like that, because you want to use this exact wording later on in your marketing. Remember, it is what I showed you here. It's like, it's the flywheel that you can see. So here, you send people to the quiz, then you gather information, you gather, you understand their own words, then you improve your ads, and then you improve your landing page and your offer. So you have more people coming in, and then you can start your waiting list, scaling your waiting list. Okay, that was the open-ended question. And now we have multiple choices questions, which are really basic and straightforward. Just think of the things you would like to learn about your audience, and then create those. Make it always simple, straight to the point. Do not use too many answers, like 4 is the maximum. Think of how you can simply ask people something that would help you, but that is also not too complicated to answer. Okay, let's look at the special trick, ask for interview. Just think about it. You have people taking your quiz, right? People are potential customer of a future product you are going to create. And we all know that the best way to actually learn about your customers is to talk with your future customers. And the quiz can make you do that. Look at this sequence that you can, or you add if you want, to your quiz. You can have, after a few questions, hey, thank you so much for your answer. It helps us a lot already. May I ask you, would you mind having a short conversation? Yes, why not? No, sorry, I'll pass. Assuming they're saying yes, great. What day suits you best? During the week, on the weekend? So the answer, perfect. And when can I call you? In the morning, during lunch, in the afternoon, late afternoon? The choose, okay, noted. Can you please share your phone number? And then you get a phone number on top of the email address, and the person allowed you to call them at a certain moment. So now you just have to take your phone and go and call the people. Cool thing is that if you link it to the pain barometer, as I mentioned here, you can say, for example, if the pain is more than 7 out of 10, then the people would see this question. So you only talk to people that are really interesting for your product, that are not like tourists finding the quiz or just wanting to make you happy by answering it. I hope this one makes sense. I generated so many interviews in the past on that I couldn't call everyone. Like it really works. When it's asked nicely, it really works. Okay, now the opt-in. Normally you just ask for the email, right? But also you want to clearly explain that you are going to ask them for the email in the next step. So if they say yes, then they arrive on the email form, but it is logical that they already said yes, so now they are going to fill it up. If they say, no, I don't really want to give my email, or you can also ask, why do you want my email? And then they arrive on the page, another part, a question page, let's call it like that, that will explain, okay, that's great. We understand you don't want to share your information, but just for you to know, to make sure that you understand, we will never be able to use, to contact you when the product is launched. So if you are okay with that, that's fine. You can leave now, or you can, if you change your mind, then you still can enter your email address. Some of the people, not all of them, but some would go back and finally enter their email address. Then it's thank you page that we are not going to talk much about now. Okay, now what kind of questions to ask? There is no secret, and I think you can go and find plenty of questions about customers interview on the internet, on YouTube. So this is not an exact list. I found some, I've put some that I like to use, but did you already hear about this kind of product, or you want to find out if people are aware of the solution, what they would expect? There is something interesting here. You have those two. How much would you pay for it per month? Or how much do you think such a solution would cost? The difference is small here, but the difference in the answer could be big, because if you ask people how much they would pay, there is always a bias that will make them reduce the amount they would like to pay. If you ask them to guess how much it would cost, then it kind of removes this bias. So again, the way you ask questions really matter. And here it's more, those are questions mostly that you can use, like, for example, what would success look like? That's a question you can use as an open-ended question. But for example, do you prefer X, Y, or Z? This is a multiple choice question. So you can go ahead as much as you are learning about your audience. And finally, and that's my favorite, how to write good questions. Here, I have a little trick. At least it's my way to write questions. I love to have it in 3 different parts. The first part is always as if it would be the human being that has written the quiz. Because most of the quiz we see are kind of cold. They are not engaging. So it's a list of questions like answer that, answer that, answer that. I like to make it as if it would be a conversation. And this conversation, actually, if we go back here, it starts here. We present an offer, then they say, okay, I want to know more. From there, in the pop-up, or in the welcome screen, but in the pop-up, it starts like if someone would talk with the person. And this conversation continues all the way up to the thank you page. And this conversation is mostly at the top of each question is like the human voice that is referring to the previous question if possible. Oh, nice. Oh, that was cool. Okay, noted. What about that now? And then you ask the question. Simple, straight to the point, as short as possible, as simple as possible. And if you need it, you can use, sometimes a lot of tools allow you to do that. You can have like maybe in gray something that are specifications, like more information to answer properly. And make it always as simple as possible, limit the amount of choice, and be careful not to bias the prospect. This is what I mentioned before. When it comes to the open-ended question, be careful of the question before, because I have seen open-ended questions that were saying all of them the same thing, which I realized later it was something I was mentioning in my previous question. So just be careful of not biasing, create a bias with the previous question. Okay, that's it. I told you I was showing you talking about the tools. There are plenty of tools, a lot that I haven't tried. What I like to use for the simplicity. My favorite one is Typeform, obviously, because it's a good product. It is not cheap, but it's a very good product. The quiz is flowing really nicely, and you can create all this logic. You can have like different technical features like hidden fields, variables. You can do everything you want with Typeform with the design you want. So that's obviously my number one first choice, but also not everybody can afford that. The alternative, which has way less features, but that is completely fine to do exactly what I showed you, it's Tally. I'm going to put here the two links, Typeform and Tally, so you can access this Figma file with the link in the description, and you will be able to access them. But I guess you can find them on Google too. Although if you use Typeform, I will put an affiliate link, so it would be really nice to use my affiliate link to go with it. Yeah, and that's it for this video. I really hope that you found it interesting. If it's the case, please let me know in the comment if you have a question, or if you have any idea of potential video that I could make to complete this video. And if you want to know more about how to launch a product from ideation to launch, you can go ahead and watch this video from 0 to 1. This method is a game changer to start a business, because this is the one that explains the whole process here. And all the other videos are related to it. So I leave you to it, and maybe I see you in the next one. Bye bye.